Did you know? A full NASA spacesuit costs $12 million, 70% of that cost is for the backpack and control module. However, the spacesuits that NASA uses were built in 1974. If these were priced by today's pricing, they would cost an estimated $150 million. The footprints on the moon will be there for 100 million years. The moon has no atmosphere, which means there is no wind to erode the surface and no water to wash the footprints away. Our solar system is 4.57 billion years old. Scientists estimate that in about 5 billion years, our sun will expand, becoming a red giant. In about 7.5 billion years, its expanding surface will swallow up and engulf the Earth. According to mathematics, white holes are possible, although as of yet we have found none. A white hole is a hypothetical region of spacetime which can't be entered from the outside, although matter and light can escape from within. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, is so vast that even at the speed of light it would take about 100,000 years to traverse it. If you put your finger over a star in the sky, you are preventing photons that have traveled to Earth undisturbed for millions of years from finally entering your eye. According to quantum mechanics, there's a small chance the entire universe could spontaneously disappear and never come back. This idea is based on a complicated theory known as vacuum decay, basically a self-destruct button for the universe. If a star passes too close to a black hole, it can be torn apart, which is where the star's light loses energy as the black hole's gravity intensified. An asteroid about the size of a car enters Earth's atmosphere roughly once a year, but it burns up before it reaches us. If you could fly a plane to Pluto, the trip would take more than 800 years. Because of lower gravity, a person who weighs 220 pounds on Earth would weigh 84 pounds on Mars. When sending droids to the surface of Mars, this is something scientists plan for, being able to load the droid up with more equipment and build it from more robust materials. Pluto is smaller than the United States. If you were to walk around the equator of Pluto, it would be the same distance as walking from London to Denver. Chariklo is a small object that has two icy rings around it. It orbits between Saturn and Uranus, and it's only about 154 miles across. Comets are leftovers from the creation of our solar system about 4.5 billion years ago. They consist of sand, ice, and carbon dioxide. Dark matter is believed to be responsible for 85% of gravity in the universe, and no one knows what it is or how it works. Did you know that all of the planets in our solar system can fit in between the Earth and the Moon, with about 2,729 miles to spare? Do you know where the coldest place in the known universe is? How about the hottest? Well, they are both right here on Earth. Due to the Sun and Moon's gravitational pull, we have tides. This is because the Moon's tidal force causes the Earth and the water on it to bulge out on the side closest to the Moon. Earth is the only planet not named after a god. Nobody knows how the Earth got its name. All we know is that it is derived from an amalgamation of both the Old English and Old Germanic words for ground. Scientists think they have found a parallel universe in a void measuring 1 billion light-years across. It's a pretty controversial hypothesis, but the void, which is empty of all matter, may be evidence of a multiverse. Enceladus, one of Saturn's smaller moons, reflects 90% of the Sun's light. Because Enceladus' icy surface reflects sunlight rather than absorbing it, temperatures reach as low as -394 degrees Fahrenheit. For years it was believed that Earth was the only planet in our solar system with liquid water. More recently, NASA revealed its strongest evidence yet that there is intermittent running water on Mars, too. Ep.8, one of Saturn's 62 moons, is actually a pretty unique celestial object. This moon has a very distinct two-tone coloration, with one side be much darker than the other. If two pieces of the same type of metal touch in space, they will permanently bond. This incredible fact is also known as cold welding, and it happens because the atoms of two pieces of metal have no way of knowing they are separate. A light year is the distance covered by light in a single year. Light moves at the velocity of about 186,411 miles, 300,000 kilometers a second. So 1 light year equates to roughly 5,903,326,255 miles. In around 4.5 billion years, the Milky Way is expected to collide with the Andromeda Galaxy, our closest galactic neighbor, to form a giant elliptical galaxy. Jupiter's famous red spot has been shrinking over the past few decades. This spot on the planet is a giant spinning storm that used to be able to fit about 3 Earths. Now, according to only 1 Earth can fit inside the spot. At 600 kilometers wide and 21 kilometers high, Olympus Mons is a volcano on Mars that may still be active, according to scientists. It is the tallest peak of any planet. However, the Rheasilvia central peak on the asteroid Vesta is taller at 22 kilometers. Mercury and Venus are the only 2 planets in our solar system that have no moons. In total, there are 176 confirmed moons that orbit the planets in our solar system, with some of them being bigger than Mercury itself. More energy from the Sun hits Earth every hour than the planet uses in a year, which has increased at a rate of 20% each year for the past 15 years. Neptune appears to be making its own heat. In fact, it is making 2.6 times more heat than it receives from the faraway Sunday. Neutron stars can spin 600 times per second. Neutron stars are the densest and tiniest stars in the known universe, and although they only have a radius of about 10 kilometers, 6 mi, they may have a mass of a few times that of the Sun. On average, a bit of debris crashes back to Earth about once a week. It's mostly larger satellites that have survived the fiery re-entry process, and, truth be told, they more often than not land in the ocean or in some remote area. At 2,500 miles, 4,000 kilometers, long, this immense system of Martian canyons is more than 10 times as long as the Grand Canyon on Earth. So we know that light takes a long time to travel through space, right? Well, there are actually some parts of the universe we can't see because the light from there hasn't reached us yet. Space is completely silent. There is no atmosphere in space, which means that sound has no medium or way to travel to be heard. Space junk is any human-made object orbiting Earth that no longer serves a useful purpose. Scientists estimate there are about 500,000 pieces of space junk today, including fragments from rockets and satellites, and everyday items like spanners dropped during construction of the International Space Station. The biggest star known to man is Uy Scuti, which has a radius about 1,700 times larger than the Sun. The highest mountain known to man is on an asteroid called Vesta. Measuring a whopping 22 kilometers in height, it is 3 times as tall as Mount Everest. The James Webb Space Telescope will allow us to explore galaxies that were formed at the very beginning of the universe, and observe stars forming planetary systems. So far, scientists have found no evidence that life exists elsewhere in the solar system. But as we learn more about how extreme microbes live in underwater volcanic vents or in frozen environments, more possibilities open up for where they could live on other planets. Knowledge is power. I hope these facts could help you, and you could apply in the future. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.